Hey guys, welcome back to RAC, where we talk all things audio production and sound. Microphones are essential tools for capturing sound, and one of their critical features is the polar pattern. The polar pattern of a microphone determines its sensitivity to sound from various directions. Understanding polar patterns is crucial for selecting the right microphone for your recording needs. Whether you're in the studio, capturing live sound, or working on a film set. Hi, I'm Diana Everett. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, and RAC grad. Let's go! So, what is a polar pattern? A polar pattern, also known as a pickup pattern, describes the sensitivity of a microphone to sound from different angles. It is typically illustrated in a two-dimensional graph that shows how a microphone responds to sound from all around its surroundings. The choice of polar pattern decides how a microphone picks up desired sounds or rejects unwanted sounds, making it a key consideration in audio recording and production. Let's go over some common polar patterns. Omnidirectional or omni. Omni, like omniscient, meaning all-knowing, all-seeing, picks up sound from all directions. Frequency response. Omnidirectional microphones typically have a flatter frequency response, allowing them to capture a wide range of frequencies with minimal coloration, making them a great choice for recording natural sounds or ambience. Coloration. Due to their design, omnidirectional microphones introduce very little coloration, preserving the natural tonal quality of the sound source. SPL or sound pressure levels. These microphones can handle moderate SPL, but are generally less effective in very loud environments, as they pick up all the surrounding sound, which means they often pick up unwanted noise as well. Here are some applications for omnis. Natural sound recording, capturing the essence of a space or environment. Walking through a forest, any place that you think would sound good, you could put an omni microphone there. Group performances, recording choirs or orchestras where a balanced sound is desired. Broadcast interviews, ensures all vocals are picked up equally regardless of position. Next one is cardioid, or as I call them, the little shroomies. The cardioid polar pattern is heart-shaped or mushroom-shaped and primarily picks up sound from the front, while rejecting sound from the sides and rear. This makes cardioid microphones an excellent choice for when you want to focus on a single sound source. Frequency response. Cardioid microphones often have a very tailored frequency response that enhances clarity for vocals and instruments, emphasizing the mid-range frequencies, which are critical for vocal intelligibility. Coloration. Cardioid patterns can introduce some coloration, especially on off-axis sounds. We just did a whole video on the sonic characteristics of on-axis versus off-axis recording on an amp. It's a demo, it's fun. I'll link it down below in the description. You get to see me play guitar. I'm not great at all, I'm a bit rusty, but for science purposes, I did it for y'all. SPL. Cardioid mics are well suited for higher SPLs, making them effective for live vocals or instruments while rejecting the background noise. Applications. Vocals and speech. Perfect for singers and speakers, focusing on the sound source while minimizing background noise. Live performances. Excellent for isolating individual instruments in a band setup. Podcasting. Allows for clear voice recording with minimal background noise. Supercardioid and hypercardioid. Supercardioid and hypercardioid are variations of the cardioid pattern, offering more narrow pickup angles. So it goes cardioid, supercardioid, hypercardioid. As you see, as they get more narrow, they have more sensitivity in the rear. Frequency response. These patterns have a more focused frequency response, tailored for isolating sound sources. Supercardioid patterns provide a slight boost in the mid-range, which helps with intelligibility. Coloration. Supercardioid and hypercardioid do show off-axis coloration. The rear sensitivity of a hypercardioid can lead to some unexpected shifts in recordings. SPL. These patterns excel in high SPL environments, although we do have to consider that the diaphragm of a microphone will play a big role, so if it's a moving coil, dynamic, if it's a condenser, do take that into consideration. In general, when you're in a hypercardioid, they tend to handle higher SPLs. Applications. Theater, film, sound. Capturing dialogue or sound effects in a noisy environment. Instrument recording. Ideal for capturing high SPL instruments like drums or amplified guitars. Live soundstage performances. Useful for isolating performers from stage noise and audience sound. Bidirectional patterns, also known as figure 8. Pick up sound equally from the front and the back while rejecting it from the sides. Frequency response. Bidirectional patterns are less flat than omni patterns, as they usually have a boost for intelligibility near the front and the back, as well as off-axis coloration. Going to coloration. So it's interesting, they often will have a kind of unique coloration off axis. So on the sides where they're rejected, you can get some really interesting tones there. Usually bidirectional microphones can handle a decent SPL. However, they aren't necessarily the most robust and they tend to pick up extra noise. So you'd want to be selective with their applications. These microphones are great in interviews or duets, where you have two sound sources facing each other, like a conversation or two singers just singing it out. Mid-side stereo recording. On the list of demos, I will show you. Keep an eye out, probably realistically closer either late December or in the new year. Mid-side recording, used in conjunction with other microphones to create a rich stereo image. Ensemble recording, captures the interaction between musicians positioned on opposite sides. All right, super directional. We might know these as the little shotgun mics. Burp, 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 burp. That's not the sound. What is it? Pew pew? Or are those... Anyway, a shotgun mic. These are designed to capture sound from a very narrow field while rejecting sound from all sides and the rear. This is achieved through an extended tube-like structure in front of the diaphragm, which is cool because if you go to our video on reverberation and how sound is created and reflects, it makes a lot of sense because the tube would pick up the sound from like a very precise location. So smart. Frequency response. So these will also have a very tailored frequency response, usually for picking up very specific type of sound. Mid-focus, intelligibility. We're getting a theme here. Since these microphones are very specific and have a very narrow field, any sort of off-axis becomes very colored and there are a lot of wonky things. Fun to play with, but maybe not the most fun to play with. Very much for a specific type of thing. They do also handle high SPLs, and that's because the tube-like structure in front of the diaphragm allows for a little back and forth. So smart. Applications. We see these a lot in film and television productions. Ideal for location sound capture or capturing dialogue. Sports broadcasting. Capturing specific sounds. And of course, wildlife recording. Being able to capture magical little animals' sound from a safe distance so you're not bugging them. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope it helped with understanding polar patterns as well as giving you some information so that you can choose the best polar pattern for your specific recording needs. There are many things to consider when buying a microphone. Sometimes we just need a cardioid, sometimes it's great. A lot of microphones also have the ability to change different polar patterns, which is great if you're doing multiple different types of recordings. Anyway, I hope this video helped. It's a little bit nerdy, but it works hand in hand with our previous video on off-axis recording, or on-axis and off-axis recording and the sonic characteristics. And you'll get to hear a real world example of how a polar pattern changes the sound and how it can help to be informed with this when choosing the right microphone and the right polar pattern for your recording situation. Whatever it is you're trying to capture, the environment you're trying to capture, you got to consider these different things. So sometimes having a microphone that can do multiple different polar patterns is a great way to have all of your bases covered. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. We come out with new content every week. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.